All right. So, Kenna, just tell me a little bit. We talked about it last week, the first one of the season. You said it would mean a lot to this group, morale wise. What do you think it meant to them and how did it go?
I think just a confidence piece, and like we talked about last week with trust, just understanding that what your coaches are telling you and the method behind the madness, so to speak, that we are have their best interest in heart, and we are trying to scheme and figure out the best ways to win. And so, all those little things that we tell them in practice, all those small details, they kind of stick a little bit more once you have success with things.
Obviously, I know teams learn a lot from losses, but what do you learn from a win and what are you guys going to carry forward from it?
It's crazy because when you have the success, it's easier to look back on all those small things, and it's not, oh my gosh, I can't believe I did that. It cost me the game, but more or less like, man, can't do that next week. And so we're able to point out some of the smaller things, and instead of kids kind of taking things more personally, they're able to look at it like, I really do need to prove because that could have been bad. And so just being able to understand how bad things could be if we're not able to execute on a consistent basis.
When you look at a kid like Dion Westing, a heck of a game last week. I think it was, what was it, over 170 yards, two
Yep.
touchdowns. I mean, how would you evaluate his performance, through 3 games?
Well, he's been amazing. He's been a phenomenal ball carrier for us. When you look at the offensive side, he has been the consistent spark for us. And I think that he'll continue to be that for us. And not to mention, he's just a great kid, just a phenomenal kid. After all the success that he had last week, you couldn't tell throughout this week of practice, he's been the exact same guy. So I couldn't be more happy for that kid, couldn't be more proud of all the accomplishment and everything he's been able to do.
Not to give away too much, but do you think he's someone you guys would probably lean on even more throughout the season now that you've seen what he can kind of do?
Oh, of course. I mean, these are things that we saw last year. If you look back a year ago when we played Cap City, Dion had over 120 yards rushing on 5 or 6 carries with a couple of touchdowns. And so it's something that we've always known that he can do. It's just a matter of getting him the amount of touches so that he can. And so I think it's not really giving away anything. I think once you watch the film, it is what it is. If we can get the ball in 21's hands, we have a chance to be successful.
When you look at the defensive side of the ball, we talk a lot about the offense, I feel like, but when you look at that defense, what are some positives that you can extract?
For the first time in a while, we'll have our full D line, and so we're excited about that. Looking back at things last week, we did a phenomenal job of just getting off the field. We limited in my opinion, a very potent rushing attack to very limited numbers on the ground. We held them in the air as well. And so just the things that we've been able to do on a consistent basis, kind of putting it all together last week, it's something that we're going to have to recreate this week with even more athletes, with even more potential to score from anywhere on the field. And so the challenges are definitely harder this week. No disrespect to Cap City, but just a few more athletes in certain places that Cap City didn't have. So it's definitely something that we're looking forward to, but we have our work cut out ahead of us.
You talk about the run game. I mean, you have to know about Ricky Dunn, and it's kind of interesting. You got Dion West and Ricky Dunn. It kind of seems like a clashing of these two guys who really, provide that kind of spark. What have you seen from Ricky Dunn this season, and how much of a challenge do you feel like he's going to provide for your team?
Yeah, Ricky's a phenomenal back. He's an amazing talent. When you look at just one physically, he's blessed. He has a great frame. He's a real thick kid. He runs physical. Not to mention, if he's in the open field, he has the speed to take it to the distance from any spot on the field. So he kind of has that complete package in terms of being able to have power, speed, and just physical running ability. So for us, defensively, it's about getting to him early. It's a matter of time before he gets his. I think in every game he's had a long run for a touchdown, and so it's one of those things that you want to limit him, you want to stop him. To say that you're going to eliminate their running game, that's really tough to say because he's a phenomenal back.
When you look at Battle, outside of Ricky Dunn, what are some things that you kind of, highlighted, marked, and said, okay, we need to watch this?
Well, from the offensive standpoint, I think they have an amazing quarterback in Justin Goolsby. The kid can throw from anywhere on the field. He's extremely athletic. He is able to escape the pocket and make throws from anywhere on the field. I think their tight end that they have, Cody, is a very special talent. His ability to kind of miss a match and be able to kind of be a mismatch on anywhere on the field that he's at is huge. On the defensive side, their secondary is amazing. The broadest kid really stands out. He's phenomenal. That kid is everywhere. Ricky Dunn, of course, is really good. And then they have two stand-up DNs that are phenomenal. One I used to live by, Chris Brown, a little freshman. He's really, really good, really talented. So they have some athletes all over the field.
When you look at games between, two Columbia public schools, do you feel like that brings, a little bit more energy to these types of games? What are you looking forward to?
Well, of course. As a coach, it's one of these games I don't have to start my boys. They're going to show up ready to go. And I only mind with battles kids as well. So when you look at everything that's happened up until this point, it's one of those things that kind of gets thrown out the window. Anything can happen when you have this rivalry game. And really got to control the emotions. I know it's going to be tough for both teams, but can't get too too hyped up, can't get too down. Really got to focus on staying right in the middle that we can execute consistently.
Well, Coach, I appreciate your time. Good luck this week.
Not a problem. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks.